Do. See if it's working. Hello. It says like it's working. Don't even try, John. Everyone is gonna tweet it out also. Okay, so let's see. We have our history page, and we're going to get some real data into this. Like this. There we go. Okay, so we have our, let's close the overview. We have our history, and we're going to create a new file. Let's create a new file. There we go. New file, history block. Amends block base. And we can import the missing libraries. So there we have the basic structure of our block. Remove this. So what are the variables we're going to use? I'm thinking if we're going to have a maybe we'll have, so let's see, if we go to Trello page, you should see that my brother has created some functions for me, and they are found in my resources. So we have get total productive time, get total productive time for task, and get all completed tasks. Okay, and if we go to see here, we can see that we need the log time for the task. We have to see when it was completed and all the logs for them. And all of this should be displayed in a object. So I actually think we're going to move some things and not have it in my resources, but instead in a different class which will hold the history items. We're going to create a new class, and let's call it history task. Not sure if we're actually going to do it like this. So we have my resources. We have weekly overview.dart. Let's make just a history review. Like that. There we go. Okay, so I have a history view. So in this history view, we're going to have a list of tasks. So we can actually go to this one. We're going to copy my list of task views. And we're going to implement the task view. And let's see, what are we going to have more? Go to my resources for the Trello page. Actually, I'm going to make this a bit bigger so you can see. If we go here, there we go. and we go to history page. Okay, so we got a get total productive time, which is the total hours that we have been productive, so that will be in its own variable. Let's just put an int for that. Now we'll just default them to 0. And get total productive time for task. Do you have that in the task view? And no, we don't. Oh, is that actually fetched though? So we're going to go to my resources. Get total productive time for a task. So we give a task ID and it returns us the productive time. Okay, makes sense. We're actually going to take all of these methods. So we need the productive time. Is this one. We need the productive time for task. That one. And we need to get total productive time. Get all completed tasks. Hey Norm, how are you doing? So we need these 3 methods. This will fetch all the necessary data we get from our backend. Just cut this out. And we're going to paste them into our history view class instead. Yes, like that. Awesome. So let's see, we have, if we can clean this up a bit. So we have our history view, which has a list of task views. We got the total productive time and task view list. Get all committed, get productive time for a task. Okay, so the log time, get total productive time for a task. We will actually, in task ID, so inside the task view, we'll actually have a folder for total productive time. Let's see, what does this actually return? Future. Or it returns a duration, yeah. The duration of productive time. And we can pass that to time spent, yeah. So we have all the values. So now we're going to create a block. So what I usually do is that I always have a block or something close by to compare with. So I'm going to create a stream of all the class I have. So we can create or copies of this. Go to the history block. And we create our streams. So the stream will be of type history view. We will create a history view object. That. And we're going to have a constructor also for history block. Inside this, we're going to init. And we're going to have a future. So we can actually set this to a new instance of an object right away. And we can set the type of these controllers. And we're going to name them. So instead of resource controller, we're going to have a history controller. See if I can. Yeah, I'm reading chat also. I may be some slow sometimes though. You can ask me any questions if you get stuck somewhere or it's hard to follow. I will try to explain all the thinking behind on what I'm doing. So right now we're creating a history block. So if I navigate back, we have this history page. And this will fetch all the tasks I've completed and all the time I've logged on them. So we're just now trying to create the start of the history block, which will just fetch all the necessary data for this. So I'm thinking of having a constructor. So when we are creating the history block, we're going to call the init function, which will just set up the history view with all of our data. And the history view simply has all of this. So a list of task views, which will just be all of the tasks here. And the total productive time, which would be 200 hours here. So let's see. And we have to import our start. And we have our history controller. So in history, out history. Makes sense. Okay, so inside the init functions, we are going to call some methods to initiate our object. So if we go to the history view actually, we can see that it returns a task view list, this get all tasks completed. And we're just going to make this a bit more simple. We'll not return anything inside here. We'll just set our list, the task views, to this task view list. And the productive time will do the same. We have our total productive time. And we'll set that to the productive time. This actually sets a duration, so we can change this total productive time to duration. And we just create a empty duration there. And this will return future of void. So there we go. Now get total productive time. Oh, actually this is for the task. So this one will be this. Set a duration. We can make this. No, we should not make that final, by the way. Okay, so here instead we have a future void. So this one will take a task ID. But instead of making it take a task ID, no, we can make it like that. So the init function will do some things. So let's see if we have everything right. Yeah. So inside here now, we can call our history view, and we're going to get, first off, we're going to fetch get all completed tasks. Which are we going to do first? So first off, let's just get all predictive tasks, and we can rename this afterwards. And we are then going to get total productive time. Yep. We can actually get the total productive time first, then we can get all completed tasks. And then we can do this one. So this one will be a bit more annoying to do. So we will actually for now make a for loop. And we will loop through all the so the type will be a task view. Task, yeah, in the history view and our task views. So we're looping through our tasks, and we can take the task.id, and this will actually return a future of duration for that task. So the task.timeleft and will be, oh, so this actually needs to be a wait like that. So now we're getting all the total productive time for the 200 hours right at the top, right? Get all completed tasks, which is the one here. And we're then getting the time spent on each task, which are these. And I'll just check all of this and see if we're missing something. And then we're going to get call in the task view, get logs from database also. So for each task, we are going to task get logs from database. And this one will actually set our logs to the thing we are getting here. So that makes sense. So now in the init here, we can call init. And we're going to do some things, right? We are going to just wrap a try and catch around this. And why we want to wrap a try and catch is because, and also we're going to put all the items into the stream. So in history, and we're going to add our history view like that. So we're going to init, and if there are any exceptions or anything, we can call our history controller and add an error. We'll simply just add error here like that. So that way we can check in the view if we get any errors, and we can just display that. So there we go. Now I have our constructor, which calls our init function. And we have our history view. Like that. And we need to dispose our history controller. See if we're missing anything. I don't think so, because we don't have any actions here right now. So we're actually going to do this for now. And I will later place this in another file to have it there for now. So if we now go to our simple button, I think. So if we're going into history, we're going to wrap the history page in a block provider. So the block will be the history block. And the child will be the history page. Like that. So now when we navigate to our history page, we get our block. So let's see what we're going to do now. So actually now if we go to our history page, I have some data that I've just been having as placeholders, right? So we'll not actually just focus on the right display of the items. We'll just see if we can get it displayed. So let's go to I can close this. Let's go to this one, right? I can just make some. Good evening, how are you doing? Hope you've been doing good. Just going to copy this, right? So we can go to our history page. And inside the history page, we are going to, instead of having a create task block, let's create a history block. The block provider also needs to be imported. and we have our history block. That. Yeah, can I make that in the future? That'd be fun to make. I'm thinking more of a Firebase chat app, because I already think that the Google dudes at Flutter already made a pretty solid chat app with Firebase that they have a step-by-step tutorial on. But we could look at that. So right now we have our history block. And what we're going to do now is actually take all of this code in this list view, because as of now this list view is just a placeholder. We have a list.generate, which you don't want. Trying to see if I can. Yeah. So we are not going to use a list view here later. We can take all of this code, and inside we're going to make a Listview Builder instead. So listview.builder. So instead of the children on a Listview Builder, we have a item builder. And you can see that it gets a, or have a build context and int. So we give it that. So that will be now, so that will now be provided inside here. And we have an item count, which just lets us give the number of items we have. Yeah, maybe I can do, I will add more tutorials on block later. But if you have any questions for specific things, I can try to answer them. But I will make more tutorials on block also. I'm just trying to learn it or become better at it myself first before I make a lot of tutorials and then displaying the wrong data. I want to try to keep my tutorials as close to the truth as possible. Because I don't want you guys to learn anything wrong as I do many times. So the item count will be something we get from the stream, right? As we don't have anything from the stream, we will get that. So inside this list view, we're going to actually take all of this code inside the list, or the list view. We're going to cut this out, and we're going to use a stream builder. So the stream builder will be of type history view, because that's the object that this block is returning. So we can see that we have, let's see, here we can see the stream of this one is a history view. That just means that this is the object that we will get from the stream if we listen to that stream. So a stream builder, if we look at that, it requires a builder. And we can see again, it takes a context and a snapshot. And we can return this again. So right now, let's comment this out so we can get the formatting. So right now we can see that we don't have any block. So the stream builder requires a block. Or am I completely off? Yeah. Stream builder. Oh, it requires a stream, yeah. Right. So the stream will be the history block that we have gotten from the block provider. And we can then call out history. So we can do a couple of things right now. So save this. And we can navigate out and we can go back in. And we can look at log. Okay, let's refresh this, see if we can get something come up. Maybe we'll have to restart the application. Yeah, let's just restart it completely. Okay, so here we can do a couple of things, right? So inside this builder, we are returning the list view. But as I showed before in our init here, we try to get info for all of our tasks. And if we don't, or there's some error on the way, we add a error. So what we can do inside here is that instead of return the list view right away, we can do an if the snapshot has error, we're just going to return a center text of error snapshot error, and if snapshot dot as data is false, if we don't have any data, we're just going to display a linear progress indicator, and we can display that as a constant. Let's see if we can get some. Maybe this is not working. Let's see where we are going wrong. And that maybe if we go back here, let's set the item count for this list. Be able to generate a code if I run the app using this. I haven't actually used the Hackintosh. I try to stay away from those things as much as possible because it breaks the usage of Apple when developing apps. But you should be able to. Don't see any problems with it. So let's see. We have the snapshot.data.text used length. So I actually don't know why it's breaking right now. So maybe we'll make this a bit more simple first. Comment this out. Load is in progress. Let's stop it again. Maybe it's just my computer. It's very, very slow right now. So let's see. What are we doing wrong? We initiate this. And in the end of the initiation, we're not hitting any error because that would have pushed out an error, right? Let's see. Maybe I am missing something. Okay, there it works. So let's go back here again. Work if I navigate now. Okay, now it seems to work. So right now we should be getting no actual task because we haven't completed anything. If I would create a task, And load some. Okay, it crashed. So the history page is actually just displaying all the tasks we have completed, so that's why there's no task that is being displayed. So what we're going to do is that here we have the custom expansion tile we created on the last live stream. And when we expand them, we're getting this data inside here, right? The shilling of the expansion tile. So first off, we have the details title. And then we have a size box. And then we have just the text of the date. Let's just create a task. Let's select some days. Let's save them. So we have that task also. I didn't add any task for Sunday, of course. Another test task. So for me to actually see what task I have at the moment, I have to select the day I actually have the day of this app, right? Let's go to the history. We can't see anything, but now we have a task up here, and I will complete it. And do you want this task to keep repeating? I don't want to do that, so now it should be displayed in here. We're getting some errors, so let's see. This is actually from the... Let's see which one it is from. Maybe it's from... Let's be lucky and see if it's one of these. Yeah, it was one of those. So let's see which one. Let's comment this one out. Yeah, that one broke. And then let's see if we can at least get the logs from the database. Yeah, we could do that. So now we should have some logs. So let's just display those logs also. And I will fix this another time. So let's see, we have our... Close this down. We can see that we have our list view, which is just all of this right here. Inside that we have our build row, which are the tasks up here. If we go back to the block, let's see what we actually got. We have get total productive time. So that's this one, right? So now we can go to our build row and we will give that the snapshot. And data, so the history view. Let's go here. We will take a history view. And let's add some string interpolation for the history view. So, and we're going to get total productive time. And this one is not constant anymore. So now there should display this duration instead. So, for example, we can take in hours, and that will probably display 0. Because if we take in minutes, it's because this task only took like it only took 20 minutes. But we will display in hours for now. We have logged 0 hours. We are going to also display how many tasks we actually have completed, and that would actually just be the length of the list, right? So that we can do like this. We can take the history view, and we can take the task views.length. We can remove the constant, and now it should only display 1. Yep. So now I have these two updated from the block data, which we can see that we pass in here. Not there at all. Here. So let's see what's the next thing we're going to do. So right now we have a children, which is a widget right here. We are displaying the data. But what do we actually want to do? Maybe we can just make a column. I haven't actually tried this out. So let's try it. So we have the index of the task. So let's create a final task view, which will be equal to the snapshot.data. Task views at index. Now we have the task view. So with this task view, we are going to display the data accordingly. So we have this so let's see how we're actually going to do this, right? The children will be the task view dot task dot logs, and then we can call the map function. Yeah, let's just do the map function. We have log, and this actually have to be a to list. So right now inside here we have each task or each log, so we can return a text of date, which will be the log dot is it inside here? Logged time. Start is update task ID. Oh, it's actually not this one. So let's see, is it status? Let's see. If I go back to drive to see where the data is stored. Base. Oh yeah, right now I remember. So inside here we're going to display all the dates that we so we can see right here we have the date of the day, month and year. We have the start date and we have the stop date in time. So let's see how we're going to do this. So that would be the start date, which is a daytime, and we take the so a start and stop date will always have the same day, month and year, but we'll have different hours. So to format it this way, let's take the day first. Log.start And we're going to take the others also. So log.startDate, month, and then we are going to have log.startDate, and I will actually go into format this a bit also. Year. Let's do that now actually. Final log start date equal and we can, instead of writing, let's have start date, and we will have another one for the end date, so the stop date. I'm going to make both of these private instead. Actually need to though. Let's do it anyway. So we have the start date. Let's have that there, that there, and that there. Okay, so now we should see some kind of formatting if it works. And let's see. We are getting any data. Close that history page. Really don't like that arrow. See if we can fix that. Fix the identifier. This is some error I'm getting with. Oh, that's really annoying. Let's just complete this for now and I will restart Visual Code. So we have the date. And we have the day, we have the month, and then we have the year. And then we need the time. So that would be maybe I'll just have a toString for this. Let's do it like this for now. So we add a space and we add another. We can take the start date. Yeah, I have to actually restart Visual Code. Let's do the code. There we go. So now I should be getting all the things that I want. So we don't need these things. But the application again. We need a start date. Start date. Get the IntelliSense also working. So what we want now is let's just take the hour like this. Let's make it really, really simple. So we take the hour. Then we take the minutes. Is it right? Minutes. That. So let's see if we can get something to be displayed, right? Haven't actually tried to do it this way. Let's see if we get any error. Go to the history page. Open this. We can see that we don't get anything displayed. So why is that? We wouldn't get that with a list view either, right? Try it anyway. Works. No, we couldn't. Why is this not working? So we return a text. We not have any logs for this one. Should have that. Let's create another text just for testing. So let's pick these days. And I'm just going to go to this task. Going to create some logs. We have one log created. Another log. And then we're going to complete it. Getting any logs. So I would return a text inside here, which would be something like task view dot logs index 0 dot. Let's see if this is working. Okay, so that one didn't have any. So let's see. Logs from database. So we can print task dot logs dot length. And we go back to here. Code. So both of this actually returns 0. Let's see if we can print the logs inside here then. Not seeing that we have any logs. Task log list to view. Okay, let's see. We get logs from the database. We have our task and we call task.getLogs from database. Int task ID is equal to null. Okay, so there we have some kind of problem. So if we go back again, call our get task on database. If we check this one again, logs, log to log view. Okay, so let's see what we're actually doing. Hey Humberto, how's your day been? Okay, so what I'm actually thinking is that I don't think we have an ID. You can see here that we select all from logs where the foreign key task ID is equal to null, and we have not deleted the task. So I'm trying to figure out where this ID is 0 at the moment, or null. And that would be from this method right here. So we get task logs from database. And we create an instance of task. And we get logs from database. Inside here. And we're passing in ID of null. So what we're going to do now, actually, that we go back. Inside this task view, we are creating a task, and the task.id needs to be our ID. Let's just see if this is working. There we seem to be getting some task. So if we push this out, nothing is actually displayed, but now we actually have some kinds of task at least. So let's see what we're doing now. So this is actually a future. Let's await it before we actually push it out, right? There we go. So the problem was, first off, when we got logs from database, I have this method in my task view. So inside the actual database object, I have a get logs from database. And when this is called, we use the ID, but as that task didn't have an ID, we just pass that to it. And I will actually have a converter. I think we have, but it's not necessary. We only need the ID actually. So I think at least, yeah, we only need ID. So we added ID, and now we could actually find the logs. And then the second problem was that when we did like this, so we got the logs, so we loop through, and each log that we, or each task that gets its log is added to the task log list. But as we're not awaiting on this one, it would loop through this, and before it have gotten all the logs, it would add it to our stream. So if we add our await, we loop through and wait for the task to come in, and then we push that out to the stream. Hey Sloogie, how's your day been? Hope you're doing fine. So there we have our logs. We can see that the data displayed looks a bit bad, right? Doesn't seem correct at all, actually. And that's not an issue for now. That's just something that I have done wrong in a different place. If we look at, and go back here actually. Yeah, we can see here that dates stored on all of these are the same. If I would do this, or can I search in this one? I can't search in it. Oh, anyway, all of the dates inside this object is the same, so that would be the date since epoch, so 1970. That's a pretty normal error, actually. If you ever seen that before. So if you see anywhere that a object has 1970, there's probably a bug in the parsing of the date. And we'll ignore that. We get the right amount of posts and everything, or logs, so it doesn't really matter right now. We can remove this. We can go back to the history logs and get, so let's see. Try this, see what the error was. Maybe we can solve it. Let's go back up. So where is this coming from? Store service log. Going from line 51. Okay, from key, where is, okay, so we'll ignore that for now actually. That we just take a lot of time to debug and find a problem on. So we'll ignore the log time, it will just say 10 hours for now. It doesn't really matter. And we're going to, here we'll display a 0. We're just going to display the name. Let's close this. Have our history page. We don't need this anymore. And that for now. So we have our details. And we have our title. So where is the title? I think I set that to index 2. Yeah. That will be the task view.name. Yeah. So there we get the name. We are getting the logs for each one. And we have to get the completed on status. So we'll see where that is. So we have a list view with the expansion tile. It has title. If we go to the expansion tile, I probably just hardcoded this in actually. Yeah. Here we have the log time and we have completed on. So we will add 2 variables for these two. So let's go up here. We will add 2 more. So I actually used to sort them like the required at the top. So we will have 1 more required, which will be first off the log time. Log time. And we'll have another one which would be a completed on. Completed on. And completed date. Let's just use a date for now. And we will add those 2. So we will have a final. I'll just use a string here for the log time. Or time, no, a duration actually. The logged, can't speak. So logged duration, log time, and we'll add some comments. Will this do? So will display the total time, total productive time for the task. And we have a duration for that. And we also need a complete date. So I'm thinking on what the complete date actually will be. I will probably have a toString for those, so that will be a string. And instead of using a string, we will have a text widget. So it requires a text. You can do the same as title and give it a widget instead. So completed date. Will display. No, actually we will have a string for now. Datetime, maybe. We'll display the completed date. Yeah, it will look like that for now. I can change this up later. So now we have the log time and the complete date. So if we go back down to where we actually display this, so that will be inside here. We add some string interpolation, and we have logged time dot. Oh, it's widget. So widget.log time. And as this is a duration, we will want to have it in hours. And right now, if I save it, it will become it will have some errors because I haven't passed in the log time. And we are going to also have the complete date. And as this is not formatted, we won't really care about how it's displayed. So widget.date completed date. We'll just make a simple toString. And that will also generate some errors. So if we go back now to the history page, we can see that this one also requires a log time and a complete date. So here we go. So the log time will be a duration. And the duration is coming from the task view. Time spent. Yeah. And we also have the complete date, which will be task view dot complete date. Let's see if we can get some data there now. We go back and in hours was called on. So yeah, it's the time spent because we don't actually fetch that from the database. So we'll comment that out for now. We can do like this. So let's say time spent will be a, if this is null, just make iteration in hours. Yeah, we're getting some problems with all our data, but it doesn't matter. So right now what I did here was a simple, I don't actually know what it's called, but it's a null checker. So if this is null, we'll just display this one instead. We can also make a equals after the double exclamation mark, and that will, if this is null, it will set it to this duration. We don't want that. This is just a temporary, and we can make a to do. Actually, we will not make a, yeah. Oh, remove duration like that, and we're going to make a to do here. Resolve time spent function. Like that. So now we are getting some data. So let's see, we are fetching all of our tests that we have completed. And we get all the logs. I can see all the logs here. And the same one for this Mm. What I'm thinking of right now is actually the history page, no, the history block. We have a close method for this one. And I don't think we have any actions in here. You can't remove them or anything. This is just a history of what we have done and how productive and everything we have been. So for example, if I would create a new task, reading, say I select Sunday and we select the length. Say we have read for 11 hours. And we save that and we did that task. Don't want it to keep repeating. If I would go back to history now, yeah, we can see that we have been productive for a total of 11 hours. And what I'm actually going to, or thinking of adding later, is actually a better way of displaying how productive and which days you have been productive on. Right now we just display a total of hours, and that doesn't really give that good feedback that you have been productive, right? We can also see that we have completed 3 tasks here. We have none left this week. Yeah, there we go. So let's see what we have more. I usually go to Trello. It's the easy way for me to, oh, this was really, really bright. Okay, so we have the history page. We have created the block. We have got amount of tasks completed. And we have a bug, which is, let's see which one it was. It was the get total productive time for a task. Working. That. And I change members. And we can see the overview page. We're missing one UI element. So there we go. So now we have the basic functionality there. And if we ignore this for now, let's see if we can generate some errors, right? Just to see what we actually get. So let's go to get logs here and let's make a throw some kind of error. Let's go to the history page. Handle exception. It should be handled, right? If we would go to init here. I need a try catch on this as well. Let's go back. Let's add a row here. Doesn't seem like it's working the way we want to. Maybe we will actually add the try catch around here instead. Maybe that makes more sense anyway. Yeah, there we get the throw. If I would navigate to a task inside here, let's see if we get the error. Yeah. Okay, so I couldn't actually have it in a constructor. So now if we go to the history block, we can close this, we can actually see something. We are calling initiate when we navigate to the page, and we are trying to get the data. If we don't have any data, we'll display a linear progress indicator. And if we get any kind of error, we'll just display that error to the UI. This is not optimal if you would really, like, this is really ugly actually. So, but this is just used for now, and we'll make custom error logs for that for the user later. And we can remove this. So what we have now is just a block that is not actually a block, or it is a block down here. And then we have the class up here. So what I'm going to do is take all of the code for the history view. We will navigate to the view models, create a new file called history view, paste that in, and then import all the missing libraries. Like that, and we can remove all of this also. So let's close this one. That one and close. So right now we don't have any actual data because we have to navigate out. We have to restart because we have moved the files. Okay, so we have some more. Oh, yeah, right. Haven't imported where this this one is. Let's import that, and that should work. Yeah, so we get our 3 tasks. We get the total productive time, and then the time log for each task will have to be fixed. Have the tasks names. We have a check mark for it to be completed. We have the logs for them. We have an overview, which are the tasks that we have. We can add them and undo. Let's use one. So we have 1 task inside here. We have still 3 tasks here. And we have no tasks left today. Actually starting to get somewhere now. And we have the total productive time inside here also. So let's see. Yeah, and we can add all 3H, and we can't get time left. That. And we're also just going to fix some unused statements. This is shift delete, yeah. Clean this up. And the stop date we're not actually showing for now, I'll just comment it out. Yeah, Yeah, I have the source code in Bitbucket as private repository for now. I will move this code later to GitHub when I'm getting a bit, or I have the code a bit more finished than I have now. This is just to show more of more of what I'm doing, or the process of doing it. And we have the create task, which is constant. And git add all. And let's see. Commit, we're going to just remove that. Actually, I have to improve quite a lot on the UI. I'm very, very bad at UI. I have to figure that out also. But I'm just trying to get all of the things on the app working first, so it's very easy to refactor the UI also after you have all of the code working. Because then it's just a way, or yeah, then it's just a way of refactoring UI. It's really easy. So let's see, we have, so we can select more days also. And if I would put this on Sunday, would add this task today. And that would be added at the end. So what we can try to make also is that I actually want all of the tasks to display in a specific order. So the task with the lowest duration should be displayed on the left. And yeah. Maybe there's a better way to do that though. We can try it anyway. So let's remove this. That. Go to our task page. And we have a list of this, which will add a task body. And we have one. So what I first want to do is I want to actually sort this one. If we would go to, let's see where we actually get this one on. Get that from the master block. If I would go to the master block on the init, we can see that we get the user, go view init, and then I want another function inside here, which will just be a sort function for the or the list. So let's just create a void sort tasks. Don't actually know how to create a sort, forgotten that, but we can try it anyway. So we have the my resources task views sort task view it takes two task views. Task view 1 maybe, task view 2. So let's check the sort method. We're going to compare two things, which would be A and B. So let's see here. Okay, and so let's see if we're doing it right. We have the first task, the second task. Let's just call them A and B. That makes more sense. And we can sort it by get total, get today's total duration. Yeah, get today's total duration. Get this. Let's check the sort again. In seconds. Pair 2. Let's try this. And we're going to in resources, add, and we're just going to take the my resources. So I want to sort them on, let's see. Maybe we actually want them to be sorted on the time left. Let's try this for now. Or get total duration. And in it, we're just going to call this method before we add it to. We'll just call it afterwards, or just to see if it's working. Hey Tenali, how are you? I don't speak Spanish. Is that Spanish? I will just use it. Yeah, translate wasn't of much help anyway. So let's see if we can go to Sunday. Okay, so we're doing some kind of sorting, but as these are complete, I don't want them to be displayed before. So can we do some more kind of sorting? Get time left. Let's do it on this one. See if that works. I don't want any way to sort nameless. It doesn't make any sense. Okay, so what I want to do is those that are finished, I want to put at the end of the list. Let's comment this out for now, and I will try to be sort tasks with the smallest time total time at the beginning. All other tasks, all the other tasks that are done should be ordered end. Maybe you will have to make 2 sort functions for that. Actually don't want to do that at all, but maybe that's needed. Okay, but at least we are getting what we actually wanted out of this one. We want to be able to display all of the data in this page, right? Productivity history, and we got all of the data. We have to just figure out why the date is wrong. That's just a backend issue, and also the log time, I couldn't get that, and that's also a backend issue. Don't want to focus that on too much, right? But we got to see how we could create a simple block. That would be the history block. We have our initiate or init function, and this just does all the fetching from the API. So we have some data inside this block. And we actually, yeah, because we don't have any data in the stream at the beginning, we decided that we want to have a loading indication, which we have. Maybe we'll remove that later because it will use like flash. Yeah, but that we got most of it done, right? Do any of you have any questions or anything you would like to get answered? Yeah, I'm thinking of ending the stream now anyway. Thanks for dropping by, Tenali. But I think we got most of it working right. We created a object so we could use a stream to display multiple kinds of data without using multiple streams. And back to the history block. We don't have any functions inside here, but we can easily write functions inside here, which we can just call with the block. If we were in the UI, we could easily call it with block.test function. And here we would have logic, right? That would just act like a normal object with a function. I'm really thinking of making more in-depth tutorials on block also. Let's see. What did we have inside here? Yeah, we'll just add that also. Add all. Sort function. Complete. Git push. That. Yeah, thinking of end the stream right now. So thanks all for coming by and watching, and I'm hoping you will have a great new year. Because that's tomorrow, right? It's tomorrow. Thanks all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I will try to put up more tutorials also with block. I'm just trying to figure out some things myself first. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you would like to support me, I have Patreon in the description, so that's really appreciated. And don't forget to subscribe and also share this if you enjoy this stream. And I will see you in the next video or live stream. Bye.